Hiya. Okay, this video I'm going to talk you through the excerpt from Plato's Meno that I've assigned you to read for this week. So, just as a bit of background, this is the a dialogue between Socrates and Meno. Not surprising. Um, Mostly concerned with stuff that is not really our main concern for this class. Stuff about virtue and some other kind of epistemology questions about how you come to know things. But the passage I want us to read is about the value of knowledge. So Socrates famously, I guess famously is an okay word, famously thought that we should be concerned with virtue, and virtue centrally involves knowledge, knowing, for example, what's the right way to live a life, what makes a life good. You want to know that, not just have a correct opinion about it. So in this passage, Socrates is going to consider an objection to that view. So I'm going to start reading here in the right around where the marginal E is. So we are in 96E here. So Socrates says some stuff, and he says, "I say this in view of our recent investigation, for it is ridiculous that we fail to see that it is not only under the guidance of knowledge that men succeed in their affairs, and that is perhaps why the knowledge of how good men come to be escapes us." Asks, how do you mean, Socrates? Socrates says, "I mean this. We were right to agree that good men must be beneficent, and that this could not be otherwise. Is that not so?" "Yes." "And that they will be beneficent if they give us correct guidance in our affairs. To this too we were right to agree?" "Yes." "But that one cannot guide correctly if one does not have knowledge. To this our agreement is likely to be incorrect." So, just to make the dialectical position here, he's saying, we had agreed before this, in the parts that you haven't read, we agreed that if you want to be a guide, if you want to guide people correctly, you have to know the things you're guiding them about. And now Socrates is saying, actually, I think we were wrong about that. So, to this our agreement is likely to be incorrect. Meno asks, "How do you mean?" Socrates says, "I'll tell you. A man who knew the way to Larissa, or anywhere else you like, and went there and guided others would surely lead them well and correctly?" "Certainly." "What if someone had had a correct opinion as to which was the way, but had not gone there, nor indeed had knowledge of it? Would he not also lead correctly?" "Certainly." So we'll get details, but let's just emphasize, this is the central point. If you have a guide who knows the thing that they're guiding you on, that's great. But we can distinguish between knowledge and mere opinion, right? Some people have opinions that don't amount to knowledge because in this kind of case, we might say, the person hasn't actually gone to Larissa, they haven't gone that way, and there isn't indeed any other way that they came to know about it. Maybe this is like they have a lucky guess about the right way to go to Larissa. Here's the thing, though. Even if they don't have knowledge, if their opinion is true, that is, their opinion that this is the way you go to Larissa, then they're going to take you the right way to Larissa. All you really need is for their opinion to be right. You don't need for it to be knowledge. So notice there's a suggestion here that there is more to knowledge than just having an opinion and being right. Okay, let's come back to Socrates. What if someone had a correct opinion as to which was the way, but hadn't gone there, nor indeed had knowledge of it? Would he not also lead correctly? Certainly. And as long as he has the right opinion about that of which the other has knowledge, he will not be a worse guide than the one who knows, as he has a true opinion, though not knowledge. In no way worse, Meno agrees. So true opinion is in no way a worse guide to correct action than knowledge. It is this that we omitted in our investigation of the nature of virtue when we said that only knowledge can lead us to correct action, for true opinion can do so also. Something to clarify here, by the way. You will, more than once, I almost want to say frequently in this class, run into philosophers using expressions like true opinion or true belief, or maybe adverbially what somebody truly believes. I standardly, including here in this translation of Socrates, the word true is, or truly is, not applying to the kind of belief or opinion, like the kind of attitude somebody has, but rather to the content of their opinion. So sometimes people say, when they want to emphasize, I believe something, they'll sometimes say, I truly believe this. And they mean something like, I really believe it. No, honestly, actually, me, truly, in my heart of hearts, I believe this thing. That's not how our kind of philosophers use the phrase truly believe. What we mean is like, you believe the thing and it's true. So I truly believe that there is a not quite expired open package of Tesco gingerbread men in front of me. Why is it true? Because I believe it, and there is one. It's true that there's a. Do I truly believe it in the sense of like this is part of my core being? No, no. But in philosophy talk, I'm happy to say I truly believe this thing, just because it's true. Okay, so true opinion here is not necessarily like the real kind of heartfelt opinion, but just opinion that is true. Back to the text. True opinion's in no way a worse guide to correct action than knowledge. It's this that we omitted in our investigation of the nature of virtue when we said that only knowledge can lead to correct action. For why were we wrong? Because true opinion can do so also, so it seems. So correct opinion is no less useful than knowledge. Meno, hey, he's actually got something to say. His name comes back. Yes, to this extent, Socrates. But the man who has knowledge will always succeed, whereas he who has true opinion will only succeed at times. Okay, so Meno's giving us a reason why knowledge might be more valuable than true opinion. More valuable than merely true opinion. Okay. How do you mean? Will he who has the right opinion not always succeed as long as his opinion is right? That appears to be so of necessity, and it makes me wonder, Socrates, this being the case, why knowledge is prized far more highly than right opinion, and why they are different. Right opinion, true opinion, I think these are the same thing. Do you know why you wonder, or shall I tell you? By all means, tell me. We know you're going to. Go ahead, Socrates. It is because you have paid no attention to the statues of Daedalus, but perhaps there are none in Thessaly. Meno is from Thessaly. All right, you're going to get a story now. What do you have in mind when you say this? That they too run away and escape if one does not tie them down, but remain in place if tied down. So what? Okay. To acquire an untied... sorry, let me back up. Maybe you don't recognize the reference. Maybe you've heard of Icarus, the Greek mythological kid who had wings and he could fly because they were really great wings, but the wings were made of wax, and then he flew too close to the sun and the wings melted and he fell and it was terrible. Daedalus was his father. Daedalus made the wings. Daedalus is the mythological, fantastic sculptor, engineer, artisan, whatever you want to call him. And yeah, he makes great statues. To acquire an untied work of Daedalus is not worth much, like acquiring a runaway slave, for it does not remain, but it is worth much if tied down, for his works are very beautiful. What am I thinking of when I say this? True opinions. For true opinions, as long as they remain, are a fine thing, and all they do is good. But they are not willing to remain long, and they escape from a man's mind, so that they are not worth much until one ties them down by an account of the reason why, or by giving an account of the reason why. And that, Meno, my friend, is recollection, as we previously agreed. This is the other thing that the Meno is famous for. There's a bit where Plato, through Socrates, tries to argue that everything you know is stuff you're remembering. That's not really something I want to get into right now. After they are tied down, true opinions, in the first place they become knowledge, and then they remain in place. That is why knowledge is prized higher than correct opinion, and knowledge differs from correct opinion in being tied down. Okay, so, right, here was the idea. The statues Daedalus made were so lifelike that if you don't tie them down, they'll get up and walk away or run away or whatever. Okay, so we have a metaphor here. Socrates is giving us a metaphorical argument or an analogy or something like that. True opinion is as valuable as knowledge as long as you can hang on to it. But part of the difference between just saying, I have an opinion and it is true, versus saying, furthermore, I know this thing, knowledge, the difference between knowledge and mere true opinion, it sounds like, is some kind of tying down. There's the metaphor. It's not that you literally take a sentence and tie it down, spell it out in Greek letters and then tie it down with rope. So if we want to give an epistemological account that explains what Socrates is saying, you need to spell out what the metaphor is. How exactly do you tie down a true opinion? Well, it's going to be something like making sure that you don't change your mind. right? That's one way that you could have an opinion run away, or one of these things about people who have true opinion will only succeed at times. Um, maybe the yeah sorry I'm blanking because I want to leave some of this up to you. I want to leave it up to you to tell me how you should, if you think this is plausible, if you're persuaded by Socrates and Meno here about what it is. So first of all, that there is something that makes knowledge more valuable than true opinion, and second of all, that this metaphor makes sense, that what is valuable, or part of what is valuable about knowledge above true opinion, is some kind of tied downness. Then I want to ask you, if so, what how would you spell out that kind of tying down? What does the metaphor actually mean in terms of belief? Let's talk about that.